Blah, it is I, the heap of the night. Notice I said heap because I'm a fan. Anyways, how is everybody out there? Unexpected little broadcast of Psycho Splatters. Always powered by coffee each and every time. And just got done watching, yes, Svengoolie. I'm telling you, Svengoolie. And the mug this time around, we, me and my bestie Donna Joquette lady, left from Arkansas back in October to go to Chicagoland, okay, up in Illinois. And I'm one of these goofy people that I like to go off the beaten path, or at least go to stupid little shit that maybe most people wouldn't care about, okay? So I'm like, I discover that there's going to be a Stuckey's. Okay, a Stuckey's. Now, I don't know if you know what a Stuckey's is. I know that they were popular many, many moons ago. I think they originated out in California, and then all across the country there was Stuckey's everywhere. So I go to a Stuckey's in Doolittle, Missouri. Now, I know you're like, where the hell is Doolittle? Well, Doolittle, I guess, and I didn't know this, was where I was at was technically part of Route 66 at one point or another. And I'm like, oh, awesome, okay. And you know that song about Route 66. So I'm sitting here, okay, I'm expecting to see the roof, the Stuckey's, and everything. No, the Stuckey's is on this gas station in very small letters, and then there is this chicken restaurant attached to it, and they had the Stuckey's peanut peanut log. I said log, peanut logs, and so I ended up having to get this little touristy mug. Yeah, so I heard that they're making a comeback, so I just thought I'd end up going on and having a broadcast. I just felt like it. I know that Brother Brian's on right now. Paulcast is on right now. I went and visited them for a little while on each of them after Sven, of course. And so I ended up doing that. And then I'll post this here if anybody is bored. I'll probably be on here about, oh, I don't know. I'd say 60 to 90 at the most. I'll probably shut this thing down by midnight. I have to take care of some things. Got to get my ass up early. So I know, once again, some of you people are probably going, he's got the damn Care Bear thing back. It's not going to be there all the time, but I just get in this goofy mood. And like I said, having the Care Bear thing back there kind of reminds me back the old days, like I mentioned in the last stream about the broadcast that I used to do with the Care Bear curtains. So, Tim, good evening to yourself, sir. Thanks for popping on by. I hope everything is going well in your world. I will tell you, that would be awesome. So that is the reason why once in a while I'll have the Care Bear things, because, the Care Bear stare, whatever the hell it is, I don't know. I did not exactly have a crappy day at work today, but I don't know, it was just pretty long. You ever have days like that at your job, whatever the hell you have, and you're just like, oh my God, you're looking at the clock every so often, which makes it worse that you're looking at the damn clock going, geez, when is blankety blank time going to be here? So, I haven't. I'm on, at least on my weekends are on Sunday, Mondays. Okay, so where I work. So I'm for one of those 2 days. I'm hoping to go off and do a little bit of crate digging and perusing and stuff like that. So until then, I thought I would intersperse everything once again with stuff from the collection. Okay, we continue off from where I went off last time, and I didn't look at any of these. I just started pulling stacks. All right, I mean there is a couple off to the side in case a certain handful of people show up that, and it's McCartney related. I'll just mention that much. I think you can probably figure out maybe who I'm talking about. So we start off right off the bat with a Chicago area band that, damn it, they should have done better in the 70s. They really, really should. There's a mixture of as to why this band really didn't go farther. 70s Chicago, mid to late 70s, was a very strange time. I remember hearing about this band when I was probably about 11, 12 years old. And we're talking about the Hounds Unleashed. If you know about this album, great. If not, this is on Columbia, by the way. Go go behoove yourself to check out the Hounds. Their biggest, if you can call it hit, okay, um, it would get played on a certain radio show at 5 o'clock on Fridays, and it was called Drugland Weekend. Go check out the Hounds Drugland Weekend, and maybe you'll get the gist of maybe what these guys were about. They put out about, if I remember correctly, 2 to 3 albums. I've got at least another album of the Hounds, and it's kind of a neat, what I would call local guilty pleasure, so to speak. Okay, and yeah, they always had hot babes on the covers too. Yeah, I said babes. Swing. Yeah. And it's like, hell. So, oh, is that right, Tim? Well, you know what? Yes, I do know. I was kind of teasing. I'll show them in a little bit, maybe. Okay, remind me because I'm old as fuck and I forget things really easy. Um, yeah, vague memory of the Hounds. I just what was it? I just subbed to who seemed like a really cool person. Let me pull up my phone here a second, okay? And I can tell you what channel. All right, because it was an introduction video that this guy did, and he's the same age as me, and it appears that he has got very, very similar tastes. Hub Tunes. Go check out Hub Tunes on YouTube, and you know what? Go sub to him and tell him the mighty Psyko sent you. He'll be like, "What is that idiot?" No, I'm I'm teasing. All right, next, I'll tell you. The first couple albums from this iconic band were the best. I just have one complaint. Kiss is Dressed to Kill, ladies and gentlemen. Kiss. Kiss is Dressed to Kill. Yes. I ended up, yep, original Blue Casablanca. Yes. Where I ended up getting a lot of my early Kiss albums, okay, there was a very cool garage sale in the town of Harvard, Illinois, where I lived for a dozen years. And it was right on the highway, this damn thing was. It was a bitch to get to. I remember that. Almost got hit, too. Was it worth it to get hit? I don't know. Point of the matter is that I found the damn things anyway. And half the box was Kiss albums and solo Kiss albums. And she took real good care of these albums. I'm not kidding. Like I found complete Kiss Army forms. One of these days, for example, when I get to the Love Gun album, I have the unused Love Gun in there still along with the Kiss Army form. I'm just like, man, oh man. And once again, though, I mean, with this thing here, with this particular album, oh, jeez. I mean, like, okay, Rock Bottom, Come On and Love Me, Love Her All I Can, She, Rock and Roll All Night, of course. Now, I know maybe some people are asking, well, what's the damn complaint you got on their early Kiss stuff? All right, so the production, and I'll tell you, okay, from maybe what I gleaned off of a few different Kiss books and reading materials, is that they were obviously trying to go budget conscious those first couple albums, okay, because Casablanca was already having problems, you know. Kiss would eventually save them, of course, when Kiss Alive came out, but you're talking this was pre-Kiss Alive. So they ended up getting Kerner and Wise, and Kerner and Wise, of course, were maybe not the best producers to get these guys. Now, I know that a little bit of this has come out, but I know Eddie Kramer ended up working on just when Kiss was formed. I think it was a demo tape. I think Gene maybe put out one of those tracks or something, or the Kiss box set. I'm sorry, I'm still working on my coffee here, so I'm a little bit out of the noggin. But if Eddie Kramer was there for the get go, and I know that maybe it wasn't in the budget, these first few albums would have, up to Destroyer, would have sounded killer, at least up a notch or two. Okay, so Dress to Kill of Kiss, yes. Um, let's talk about Kiss for a second, anyway. Okay, so Paul Stanley goes off, and geez, okay. So if you like Kiss, I don't know who your favorite member is, and I'll get to that in a second. To me, early Kiss sounded like a month. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. That is exactly where I was going to go into this. It is so muddy. The damn production is, and I'm like, what the holy hell? And another one I sort of feel like that about. Um, Even though, let's see, what was it? There's a Cheap Trick album, an early Cheap Trick album I feel that way about too. And I'm like, what the hell? Um, the one with the studio version of I Want You to Want Me. It should have sounded a little better than that. And I'm like, this is like pale compared to what. Some songs sound better live than they do in the studio, okay? But I'll tell you, yeah, Mercury was cut right as well too. Yeah, you know what? I've got that first Dolls album. In fact, I think I've got both of them. Um, the second one is a little bit more of a bitch to find for me, actually, and unless I sold it, I don't think I did though. I have a goofy ass bootleg of New York Dolls, and I can give you a hint. The cover of it is a it looks like Warhol drew it, but it was Kennedy and Jackie in the car as he's about getting ready to get assassinated. What a strange cover. So, but yeah, thank you, Tim, for bringing that up. So, for Kiss anyway, Ace was my favorite damn member. Yeah, and he still is, believe it or not. I would probably go Ace, followed by maybe Gene, and then at times Paul and Peter are third and fourth. I know that sounds really, really weird, but I think part of it has to do with the whining and the diva like. I mean, let's face it, all four of them were pretty dysfunctional, but yet for some reason the chemistry worked all the way from that first album to Love Gun. Okay, to Love Gun. It was like, there you are, there's the band. Then the drugs kicked in, the coke kicked in, the booze kicked in. Everybody's egos were just ridiculous. Okay, and in my opinion, anyway, the two biggest missteps that happened to that band, because they could have gone on at least for a few more years at the high they were at, was this. Number one, that Phantom of the Park Hanna-Barbera movie. I saw that thing brand spanking new on television. I was almost 11 years old, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, oh, this could be great. And then by the time I got into the first 10 minutes of that movie, I'm going, uh-oh, train wreck. But it was, I just to still get to see Kiss on the TV screen was still cool. It's just, from what I'm led to believe, that was not even the original script. They went all cheapo on that shit. I'm just like, they could have done a hell of a better movie. Okay. And to veer off again, let me throw this out, that out of all honesty, the band could still pull off one last really good thing. And I know you're going, what the hell is he talking about? All right. So Paul went off this past week and said that basically it's a snowball's chance in hell that you're ever going to hear any new Kiss music, or at least a new Kiss album. Okay, you're not getting it. So basically, Monster in 2012 was the last damn thing you're ever going to see from the band, new wise, which in a way to me kind of sucks. But I guess if they just don't have the writing chops to do, here comes my favorite word, an EP. That's what Psycho Platter is going to be known for. He's that son of a bitch guy who always suggests EPs instead of albums. Well, if you don't have enough strong material for a damn album, put out an EP. So if they don't even have enough to put out an EP, then I guess just don't do damn songs. But here was my gist on the whole mess. I think I remember when The Elder came out, and I know some people are going, "Oh God, he's going to go into this." The Elder was a good album. It just really wasn't a good Kiss album. And I know you're like, "How the hell is he?" There are some good songs on that album, but the problem is everyone overreached. The band overreached, Casablanca overreached. There was supposedly a movie production company that was going to get into this. They overreached. And let's face it, it fell flat on its ass. Nowadays, the elders actually looked in a different light. And I honestly think that it could have worked. So, where I'm going on this, and I remember reading in an interview with this was pre COVID nonsense, that Gene actually had somebody contact him in regards to doing an elder animation, okay, which I think still could damn work. Uh, you could have, you know, you could have Paul and Gene, all right, and obviously, Tommy and Eric. Although we'd rather see Ace and Peter, right? They're still alive, so somehow we could get everybody into that mix. Bruce Kulick could get thrown in somehow, even voices and shit like that. Oh, I like this comment. Hold on a minute. I'm going to show you this. The Elder is Kiss's Satanic Majesty's request. Tim, that's pretty damn cool assessment considering I wouldn't have thought of that. And you know what? Yeah, I think you're on fire today, buddy, on the comment section here. But I think I agree with you on that. That was the thing that, because, all right, let's face it, Unmasked was not great. It wasn't. I still have a still sealed copy. Have I listened to it? No, I have it on CD. What was it? The big hits were Shandy and Talk to Me. I'd rather listen to Ace's Talk to Me than Shandy any day of the week. Why, hello there, Mick. How are you? You just waltzed into a mini kiss fest for the moment because that's what we're talking about. So the thing is that I think they could do an elder animation thing, okay? And I think for that they could come up with 2 to 3 new songs along with some of the other stuff. And you could get all the band members, past and present, back. That you don't have to be in the same damn room. You don't have to be in the same damn room because I know all those egos, would collide with each other. But it's like you could get a well done project of within 60 to 90 minutes of length. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I think it could be done. And if I knew how I could get to contact a damn band, I would do that. I absolutely would do that. Hello there, Slider 1995. How are you? Good to see you here this evening. Like I said, this was an out of the blue Saturday thing. So, like I said, for the people that just waltzed in, I just got done talking about Kiss's Dress to Kill. Now let's go into more of the pile. Here's a band that did actually pretty good at one point or another, but that just made 4 albums and that was it for them. JoJo Dunn, Run Run Run. You got Mark Andes and Matt Andes from Spirit, and they were kind of neat. The one album cover that some people go off and say is bad taste is Jumping the Gun. Now I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but even I will admit I'm like, I think the art department should have went off and done something differently because it was kind of in poor taste. This, of course, being on Asylum. Very, very nice. All right, so I showed you earlier about the Hounds. By the way, speaking of Hounds, here's my very, very horrible Monty Burns Simpsons impression. You want it? Release the hounds. All right, there you go. Oh, Smithers, who's that idiot over in Sector 33? That's Homer Simpson, sir. Simpson, that's it. Anywho, so um, from 1967 on USA Records, the Buckingham's kind of a drag. You know, this is actually really kind of cool and garagey. Okie dokie. I actually have this signed. I'll have to eventually show some of my signed records. But when I saw Dennis and Carl from this band, I got them to sign this. And this is actually a very awesome album. If you ever find this in the wild, go grab it. It is really cool. It is on USA Records. I know this one's a little different, but this is a dark blue USA. Now, they went off and said that at one point or another that only the stereo pressings or some shit has this, but I'm not sure. But there supposedly is another track. There is supposed to be a 13th track, but I've never heard anybody grabbing a damn copy. Never seen it. All right. This next one, well, I don't know if we want to call them an iconic 60s band, although let's face it, they ended up making one of the best selling albums and a nice 21-minute classic for you to trip on was Iron Butterfly. Yeah, I know I said Iron. That was a Simpson reference on that too. Marge, isn't this the song we made out to? All right. So, but not much is mentioned about their 70s output. This is one of them, Sun and Steel. Okay. Sun and Steel. And this is on MCA. But, I have to tell you, though, there's a goofy story involved with one of these band members. Yes. Oh, look, we also have the lyric sheet. Yeah, there was a lyric sheet to this. So, the bass player of this 70s lineup, who was only on this album and Scorching Beauty, give me a second here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Phil Kramer. Okay. Phil Kramer was a member of this band in the mid 1970s. He'd stick around in rock and roll for a little bit longer, but then he went into science. Was he blinded by science? We don't know, but I will tell you this. Because of what he knew, he ended up dead. And I know you're like, what? Go look up, if you're bored, Philip Kramer, Iron Butterfly, Wikipedia. I know, Wiki, right? But I think there's also a video about him somewhere too, I remember correctly. He was part of a scientific project. Somebody went off and claimed he might have known too much. Next thing you know, he disappears. He disappears. They look for him, and the next thing you know, it's months, if not a few years, before they find his minivan down in the bottom of a ravine, if I remember correctly, the story on that. And I'm like, ooh, how nefarious is that? There's a very long Scrabble word for you. If the Buckinghams would have muted the horns, they would have sounded much better. Well, maybe, but you know what? Here's the other thing too, Tim. I'm an Ides of March fan, and Chase, okay, and Chicago, early Chicago, of course. I think, in my opinion, those first five Chicago albums mainly are the best. But anything in the Terry Kath era would be lovely and acceptable to me. Good evening, Thomas. I can't even talk today. Good evening, Thomas. Sounds like rock and roll. It does sound like rock and roll. Now we're gonna flip genre for a second because I'm still trying to figure out this album. I found this album at a Salvation Army here in town, probably going on about a year or two ago. Okay. In fact, I ended up buying half of the damn box because it was jazz. It was jazz. I know Psycho listens to jazz a little bit, but not a lot. My first turn on into jazz was courtesy of Doug Fields when he played me Stan Getz. There was a VH1. Thank you. See, okay, I knew it. I knew there was a damn video, just didn't remember the source. Thank you, Tim Allen. So go check out, if it's on YouTube, that VH1 Behind the Music. on that. So I tripped on, and this is on Dot, okay, Softly, Softly Jazz, Eddie Barnes. And I went to look for this on Discogs, and I can't find. Like a few weeks ago, I looked. I couldn't find shit on this album. Not a thing. And basically, oh, it's Eddie Barnes and his High Fidels, and it's on Dot, and it's not in really bad shape. It ain't minty, but the point is that I do like some good jazz. Now, I think I showed in a previous stream. I finally got to listen to that Basie meets Bond, the Count Basie and his orchestra doing the James Bond themes from the '60s. It's actually not bad. If you find it, go seek it out. So this next thing I have for you, and once again, thank you all for popping by. I'm going to drop this again in case anybody is bored and would like to come on. So, another iconic album. I showed last stream an iconic album from this band. Let's go this direction. Yes, 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 yes. Um, damn. This is okay. So, Beggar's Banquet. Remember, I talked about this. Beggar's Banquet, in my opinion, was the start of the phase from Beggar's Banquet to Exile, where basically the Stones could do no wrong and they were on fire, and it was really, really good music. You had your transitional period, okay? Beggars, still you're talking Jones era Stones, okay? On here, Brian shows up on a couple cuts. If I remember correctly, it's 3. He shows up on 3 tracks. And then on a couple, there's none. And then Mick Taylor shows up. And if I remember correctly, I think Ry Cooder is on a track on this too. But I mean, I just kind of like the idea of the whole Let It Bleed thing. And then look, it's all smushed. And I don't know, man. This whole album just really, 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 I just dig it. I really do. But if I could find, I have a bootleg. I have a Stone, but it's a CD bootleg, okay? And it is Beggar. It's Beggar Banquet rehearsals and works in progress and stuff like that. And if I remember correctly, one of the things that I had on there was Sympathy for the Devil. We had alternate lyrics in this mix, and it was kind of strange. Really kind of made me wonder. All right. Here comes another bad impression. You ready for this one? It has to do with this next band I'm going to show you.
Hello, I'm Brian Johnson from AC/DC.
Yes, that's right. Blow up your video. AC/DC, blow up your video. And you know what? Okay, let's face it. If you love AC/DC, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting from the get-go. I am a big Bon Scott fan, okay? I love that era, but I love Brian's era too. It's just, which one am I going to go to? I'm probably going to go to the Bon stuff first, and then I'll go to Brian. This album here, it has a few good moments on here, that's for sure. This came out in 1988. I just remember Blow Up Your Video. That's the way I want to, yeah, that's the way I want to rock and roll. Mean Streak. I mean, there was a Heat Seeker. That's it. The Heat Seeker was such a goofy video. I remember that. But it kind of ended on a good note, though, didn't they? Did any of you guys get the Power Up album from earlier in the year? I thought it was a damn good release. When what a way to kind of finish things with them. Really, I think they did a really good job, honestly, on that album. I like that album better than oh my god, the one before that. I'm tired. The one from 2014, with Play Ball and all the other ones. Let me get some coffee. I'll be right back. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Oh boy. Okay. since I'm going to go to solo Beatle vent, not vent really, but solo Beatle tangent, I'll show this first, then I'll show the McCartney stuff if you're still in here, Tim, and any Macca fans. I've heard Powered Up. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'd behoove you. The prices are decent on it. I just have a CD, but I heard that some of the places are selling the vinyl at halfway reasonable prices. I may end up picking it up down the line, but it's not a priority. So I found this. This was one of a couple albums I grabbed. There was a very weird sale downtown here a couple years back that Jess and I went to, and this was one of a handful of albums. I grabbed an Iggy Pop. If I ever can find that, I'll show you. The one that I do remember, and it just stands out to me. There was a Nick Drake there, and Nick Drake. I don't know a lot about Nick Drake. Okay, I know about the tragic story, and I know about Pink Moon, I think it is, and a couple other ones. The album that I found was I think he was already dead already. This was a 74, 75 release. Highly desirable though, and unfortunately, some dickhead went off and scratched one complete side of this damn album, and I'm like, ooh, hateful much? So that's the only reason that was the only time I ever came across a Nick Drake album, whether it was posthumous or whatever. Gary Brooker, Lead Me to Water. Now, Gary Brooker, Procol Harum, that's where you'd hear this name mostly, okay? Here's your front, here's your back. You do have different people, which I think is pretty cool on this. So who's on this album? You're probably wondering, right? Or even if you weren't, you're going to find out anyway. Phil Collins and Eric Clapton, okie dokie, they're on this thing. But the reason why I grabbed this for the 50 cents I paid for was George Harrison shows up on a track. Yes, George Harrison. So there's your solo Beatle connection. So remember, kids, Gary Brooker, Lead Me to the Water. That's one for you. And you know what he does? He does really tasty slide. Okay, that's what he does on it. All right, so some Macca stuff. I know some of this will be pedestrian and maybe make you yawn, but I don't care. Found a nice copy of Wings at the Speed of Sound. This was a few years ago. I found. I think I showed at one point or another the band the Venus and Mars. So see, nice inner, right, and of course on Capital Custom. Truthfully, and I think I brought this up before in a video, I think Venus and Mars. It was a choice between either Venus and Mars or this one. Was the first Mac album I bought brand new. Okay, I just remember that much. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm like, oh, I think about when I was 9 when this came out, and I don't care what anybody says. I like the Jimmy McCulloch, Joe English editions on here. Okay, I mean I know they would last from Venus and Mars to London Town. Okay, and I also like Lawrence Juber, Steve Holly's the edition in Wings too. It's just too bad that they couldn't have made one more album. I think Wings in the early '80s would have been interesting. And yes, I know a couple cuts ended up on Tug of War, and I think one even landed on Pipes of Peace. It was the last thing that Denny Lane worked with them on. Okay, this one here, I know has been around for a little while, but I ended up getting this 60% off, okay, at Barnes, and I could not pass this up. I grabbed this, and I grabbed George Harrison's Brainwashed, which actually is, in my opinion, that's a damn good album, but I ended up with the double album of Paul McCartney, Flower in the Dirt. That's right. That's right. And of course, the second album, of course, has the original demos with Elvis Costello. I think the pairing was interesting. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I remember hearing My Brave Face, and I still say that's, to me anyway, it's probably the favorite thing I love about this album. Anyway, was just that song, and then of course for Elvis Costello's Spike album and Veronica, which I jokingly will sing Veronica. I will change the words to Veronica. London Town was my first new McCartney album. I think I bought Red Rose Speedway first, however. Tim, that's funny. How convenient that you bring up Red Rose Speedway as everybody goes, oh shit, what's he? Yeah, yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Red Rose Speedway. Now, um, but why am I showing you this? Why am I showing you this? I was on somebody's thread, and for the life of me, I can't remember whose. I want to say Macamania. It could be somebody else. But we were talking about the reissues on this label. Yes, the from 79 to 84, when they were on Columbia, the reissues were. They're not that damn easy to find. They used to be back then. They aren't that easy. And I still think I have one more, but this I tripped on this yesterday. I was flipping through my vinyl, and I'm like, why do I got two? And I'm like, that's why I've got two copies, because yes, it is the. Oh, wait a minute. I loved Flowers when it came out, but it has not aged well for me. Um, yeah, yeah. You know what? I'll agree with you, but like I said, I couldn't pass up. Um, 60% off on that thing, that's for sure. I love Red Rose Speedway. Very summery, breezy album. Yeah, I mean, it is. My Love was the hit, and I guess from what I heard, that was. I mean, okay, shit. Henry McCulloch, okay, who does the solo on My Love. I mean, McCartney pretty much was he was on almost everyone's ass, and I guess, when it is your band, I in a way, I guess maybe you have a sort of a right, but I mean, geez, you've got let these band members breathe a little bit, okay? Maybe you'll get better albums, you'll get more creative music. I started the Columbia. Oh, that's it. Thank you. That's it. It was you then. Okay, it was you, I think then. So yeah, so you found a couple of them. That's pretty kick ass. Like I said, I something tells me I have another one. Um, Down the line, speaking of McCartney, since we're still talking about him, I I've got one box set. I got one deluxe box set. That's it. Because I'm sorry, guys, I can't afford these damn things. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, let's face it. Maybe pre-COVID nonsense, I could have gone off and been able to buy some of these things. But ever since then, so the one I have, and I'll show it in this future stream, I found the Venus and Mars deluxe. Okay, and I'll admit, beautiful packaging. The thing, and I think me and Mr. Mayo finally got a copy because I remember bringing it up at that time. He said he needed that one, and there was one other, but this is an old video. Okay, and so the thing is that I went to Vintage Stock in my town, and on I think it was the last time they were involved in Record Store Day, because for some reason, Record Store Day pulled their availability, claiming that vintage was not indie enough. Seriously, I got to see a little bit of that letter, and I'm going, oh God. So I went anyway, and like I said, it was the last year, and I remember grabbing a couple things, but nothing really floated the boat. And they had that box set, and it was sitting there for months, okay, at the regular price. I'm not kidding you. I walked in, he already had the red price gun, went from, what was it? It was like 80 or 90 bucks. And he sticks it, and it said $22.99. I said, I'll take the damn thing. So I only paid $22.99 for that Venus and Mars set. Let's see. McCartney was on Henry because he sprang the solo on him and they were recording it. Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. See, Tim, you're on fire today. I'm still kind of out of it today. So see, this is why I love the VC, because I never profess to know it all, and you guys come in and help me out with little bits and pieces. I love it. But so that's that mixed with um my head hurts. The drummer, but that him McCulloch and him, they both left within like 2 weeks of each other before they were going to go to Nigeria, and I'm just like, yeah. Jeff Britton wasn't around with them very long, though, as you noticed. But here's one thing, okay, and I know I have this been on the run when Best Buy did the exclusive for the CDs. And I ended up getting the bonus disc with the one hand clamping, which I'm assuming now it's on the deluxe set, okay? But this was back when they reissued it. Um, Jesus, when would that have been? Maybe '04. I want to say it was a 30th anniversary. And okay, they did the one hand clapping film. And to be able to hear, like I heard Jet, when I heard Jet, the way that they did it in that thing, I'm like, son of a bitch. To me, I thought it was marginally better. I really, really did. Denny Sewell, yes, thank you. That's right, Denny Sewell. I liked his drumming. I did. John Heaton once talked to Henry McCulloch. Henry said, "Paul is as nice of a bloke you could ever." Well, you know what? Truthfully, that's a sound of good professionalism. I mean, let's face it. I remember. I had McCulloch's solo album on Dark Horse. I ended up. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was nice that he was able to do that after his Wings. Yeah. He hated Jeff Britton. I found that out not too long ago. I was reading another McCartney book. Um, that okay, I know that with some of these ones that dole out the dirt, sort of okay, that you have to take certain things with a grain of salt. But when there's a lot of people almost saying the same damn story, you kind of begin to wonder. And I remember that was one of them that was brought up, was that Denny couldn't stand Jeff Britton. They ended up, what was it? I think it was called Blackbird was the name of the book. And they interviewed Denny too for part of the postscript for that book. I still think that Denny didn't exactly, Elaine, didn't get really a fair shake. I mean, he was with them for a decade. He was with them for a decade. And I just wonder, okay, I know this is like, who really gives a shit, right? But I really would like to know, what was the straw that broke the camel's back in regards to McCartney and Lane? Okay, because obviously, like I said, Tug of War was really the last real involvement because of when he tried bringing Wings back in '81, and he ends up on one song on Pipes of Peace. But that's it. Boom. And I remember reading in the Denny Lane interview that he showed up at an after concert for McCartney. I want to say this was in the '90s, maybe late '80s, early '90s, and he was allowed backstage, but it kept getting longer and longer for the delays. And the security guy, came out and apologized and just simply said that it might be even longer. And Denny kind of just, I guess, took the hint, and that was Denny smoked weed while Jeff practiced karate and being a real man. Oh, yeah, that is right. I remember him reading about the karate obsession. He just didn't fit. And if I remember correctly, Jeff Britton, at least for a little bit, drummed for Manfred Mann's Earth Band after McCartney. I want to say late '70s, I think. So at least he had a little bit more experience post Wings. That's nice. So yeah, I mean, I like Denny Lane as a Moody Blue, but obviously, when the Moody Blues shifted, there's a band. I should bring some of my Moody Blues vinyl out, because in essence, they pretty much said they broke up. Yeah, Moody Blues are done. it's sad in a way that the last album that they put out, now I'm not knocking Christmas albums, mind you, but that literally was the last studio album they ever cranked out, was a Christmas album, and it was the four of them. That was the last thing with Roy Thomas, and he left after the Christmas album. I want to say it's called December, if I remember correctly. I mean, if you can find it, go ahead. But from what I'm led to believe, it's not that easy to find. I remember buying it brand new for my fiance at the time. She was a huge Moody Blues fan. Um, let's see. I always heard that Denny wanted a tour. Paul didn't after John. Yeah. Believe it or not, I heard the same thing. And look, it took him a good what, 10 years, 10 years on like '89, right? '89 was like the when he came back out in the forefront. But yeah, I mean, do we blame him? I guess we don't really blame him, really, do we? Um, and then who knows behind the scenes how many times could he have gotten this close? Although he's got, I guess, really good security teams, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, as we know, with the Lennon's killer, who will not be named, and the idiot that attempted to kill George in '99, there is that minute minority of crazies that will just do anything, whether for publicity or they think there's a reason behind what they're doing. And yeah, I know we could go woulda, shoulda, coulda all day long in regards to John, right? I mean, I'm not kidding you. If John would have lived 6 more months, even 6 more into 81, okay, let's say a year. If he lasted another year before the moron got to him, God forbid, he would have worked with Ringo on that Stop and Smell the Roses album, which was called Can't Fight Lightning back in '81. John was going to fly back to England, not only to visit Aunt Mimi, that's what he said anyway in an interview, but he and the rest of the bandmates, this is I've read this in a couple different places. They were going to do ending incidental music for the Long and Winding Road Beatles documentary. You would have seen them, 1981 Beatles, jamming over something as the credits are rolling. I think that would have been a nice ending, right? And he was talking about a tour. He sketched some designs. There was some really weird state of the art things, something that looked like an octopus. I have no clue, like the TV, the cruise and stuff like that. I mean, imagine a double fantasy world tour for '81. All of that shit could have happened if that asshole didn't. The Moody Blues broke up and then reformed without Denny. Does that say something about Denny? Maybe. I don't know the Moody Blues enough. I do not. I love their music. I don't know their personalities, but I will say this: if anybody out there is a Moody Blues fan, this one almost got me in curiosity, though. Okay, so what exactly went down with why the Moody's, I don't want to say hate, that'd be a strong word. What happened with Mike Pinder and Patrick Moraz? Because to me, it seemed like, all right, so they come back for Octave in '78, and Pinder basically is like, I don't want to tour. So, in a way, he should have said that before the album was recorded, because from what I'm led to believe, when they were making that album, they kind of already said, well, we're going to tour behind this. So maybe did Pinder mention his intentions, or did he change his mind, or whatever? I did see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not completely. I think there's been some edited portions, but from what I'm led to believe, they treated Pinder like shit at the ceremony. And then to top that off, like I said, Mraz goes off and he's with the band for quite some time. Okay. And next thing you know, he's gone. And I'm like, I like Mraz's work, okay, and yes, and I like a little bit of the solo stuff. And I think honestly, his work in the Moody's was good, okay, but I mean, who knows? So the Moody's, but uh, I never got to see the Moody's play live. The closest thing I got, which I don't know if I've brought this story up before, but if you guys have the patience, let me tell it. This goes back to September 2019. September 2019. So I live in Northwest Arkansas, and there is a, let's see, on a good night, you could fill 8,000 in this outdoor venue, okay? 8,000. And it was called the Royal Tour. And you guys are probably already going to know what I'm talking about on this, but basically it went Carl Palmer's ELP experience with special guest Arthur Brown, okay, from Crazy World of Arthur Brown. Then it was John Lodge from the Moody's and his solo band, okay? Then it was Asia. All right. So it was Jeff Downs, Carl Palmer. They had for new guitarist and singer Ron Bumblefoot Thal, which I thought he did a good job. I miss John Wetton, but I mean, if you're going to reactivate this band, he was a very competent musician. He did the job. And then for the last four songs of Asia's set, Steve Howe comes back on. So you have three-quarters of the original lineup performing, okay? And then followed by Yes. All right. So there's your bands right there, okay? So I thought Carl Palmer did a decent job. Arthur Brown, of course, comes on for Fire. He does Fire. He does a good job. And then some other song. I can't remember what the other song is. Sorry. John Lodge comes on, and I think that he did an admirable job too. I'm trying to think here. Legend of a Mind stood out to me. Good old Timothy Leary. I remember that one. That one was good. Um, there was a he played stuff off of his last solo album. I remember he said that. And then we go to Asia, and Asia went off, and I think did, like I said, an admirable job. They played pretty much all the hits, anything that you were thinking about. And then, like I said, Steve Howe comes on, and remember Heat of the Moment, Cry, Don't Cry, excuse me, and two other ones. Soul Survivor, yeah, I think Soul Survivor, and then there was another one. And so then after Asia got off their set, I knew that previously I got some information that one of the bands was going to do a meet and greet free, but they didn't mention who. And I'm going, shit. So I brought albums from everybody to cover my bases. Okay. So it ended up being that it was Arthur Brown came out. So we Doug graciously let me have his American spare copy of Crazy World of Arthur Brown, that first album, okay, on Atlantic. So I got that signed. Carl Palmer comes out, so I was able to get him to kindly sign the Asia stuff and the Arthur Brown album. And then Ron Bumblefoot Thal was there, and Paul, I cannot pronounce his long. He's got a very long name, but he's an awesome player too. I'm sorry. They came out, and I shot the shit with those guys, and they were very laid back and very nice. And I complimented Bumblefoot. I thought like I said, I thought he did a really good job, And I didn't bring up Guns N' Roses or anything like that. And then so I got them to sign all the regular stuff. And then as an added bonus, on every stop of that tour, Roger Dean was there and had an exhibition of his work. And I got Mr. Dean to sign Asia's first album and And one of my Yes ones, I'm trying to remember which one I had. I want to say I think it was Yes Songs or one of those ones. I got him to sign. Maybe it was Drama. I can't remember. But he was very gracious. We got pictures with everybody. So, um, but so here's the travesty of the whole thing. Okay, so I told you it could fill about a good 8,000 people. It wasn't even half filled. It was not even half full, and I'm like, what the hell? And I won a contest. I got seats. Okay, seats for anything in this venue is not cheap. Okay, so I won a pair of tickets. I brought my buddy Doug. I'm like, let's go. We had a great time, but we were commenting about how sad that they only could fill half a house. It should have been more than that. Okay. But there was a bunch of families too. I noticed that too. And I'm going, okay. And, everybody was cool with us taking pictures and videos and things like that, getting close to the stage. Nobody had any issues about that. I do remember when Yes came on and did their set. Okay, if I remember correctly, they they cut two songs from the set list that night. Don't ask me which ones, but I remember from previous couple days set lists they cut some out, and for some reason somebody in the front row, and we could not figure out who it was razzing Steve Howe or some shit. And Steve Howe pretty much was giving it right back to the guy. It's like he was calling him a few things. I'm like, oh boy, you know. But so I want to say it was about an 11 song set. By the fifth song, people were walking out. And I honestly don't think it was bad. I don't think it was bad at all. I really don't. I wish of course I was missing John Anderson, but I mean, the other John here was capable. It's just it's to me it's like Yes Light. Steve Howe was your only connection. Alan White came on, but I know he had that back surgery. Okay, so his playing is limited. He ends up coming out for two songs out of the whole set. So, and one of them was a cover of Imagine. So, yeah, here's a comment that I missed. Sorry, Tom. I defend McCartney. He was in his 30s. A lot of the Wings members were younger, not lame though, than Paul, and weren't as professionally minded. But maybe I'm being too uncritical. Maybe you're right. I mean, he did pick, I think, at the time, musicians he thought he was going that were going to gel really well, and some did, some didn't. Um, I heard, that. Geez, I've heard some very weird stories. For example, about Jimmy McCulloch. Okay, and how it was. At first it was all right, but towards the back end of this performing with them, it was like oil and water. There was some hatred coming off of off of Jimmy. And I mean, I know he was on the drugs and stuff. I remember reading that, and gee, look what happened. It was like 2 years, within 2 years after he left Wings, after London Town, he was dead after being with Small Faces, if I remember correctly, when they tried to do a reunion. McCartney big. How about Postcard? Yeah, like I said, for some reason I like her voice. I do. I do. I only maybe play this album maybe once in a blue moon, but yeah, I mean McCartney's over this bit too. That was one of his pet projects, I say. Let's see here. How about some 80s? How about some 80s? I know some people go off and say they hate the term hair metal. I don't know what to call it. I just really don't know what to call it. So I call it hair metal. Maybe it's not fair. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, well, it was a problem. All right. Um, how about Black and Blue? Nasty, nasty. Black and Blue, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes, yes. Now, this one here, produced by Gene Simmons. Yeah, it's produced by Gene. And then who shows up to do background vocals? Peter Criss. So yeah, so Peter's on the back of that there. I would say give it a listen. Go listen on YouTube and see if you like it. Honestly, Goodbye was the for Hopkins was the demo that Paul did for her, and those were the days. Is a little schmaltzy, but I like it at times. Go give it a listen on YouTube and see how you feel about it. Out of all honesty, Thomas, that would probably be the best thing for you. Jimmy was a diagnosed manic depressive, and I've heard he warned Paul about it. Oh, Jimmy also played guitar. No shit, I didn't know that. I did not know that he played on Nick Gilder's Hot Child in the City album. Huh, how neat. I did not know that. I'm going to have to check that out too. So yeah, so you end up with Black and Blue. Tommy Thayer, of course, would end up coming out of this band, going to Kiss, and be the clone of Ace for all these years. And let's see here. You got Jamie St. James, if I remember correctly, ended up in Warrant, I think, for a time as well. So yeah, all kinds of little. Like I said, they had the musicianship, but unfortunately, it just didn't really go very far for these guys. And of course, on Geffen. Yes. Black Label Geffen. Oh, hi. I was hoping yeah. Are you okay? Are you doing all right, sweetie? Hopefully you are. Okay. I'm glad you checked in. I know I've known a handful of people that got their vaccines. From what I have heard from them, it's been 50-50 on the results. Just a sore arm. Yeah, that's what half of the half have said. Now, since you just got it, and I hope it doesn't go any farther than that. Hey, sore arm. Because for some, it was just the sore arm, went away a couple days later. That's what we want for you. We don't want the other thing because we love you. I love everybody here. I do. So be careful. I like Goodbye. Yeah, I do. And I also like the demo too from if I remember correctly, it's on um, yeah, I've heard the demo. That's all I'm going to say about this. That's right. Hey Lisa, yes. Nothing major. Good. All right. So, next. Okay. So, remember I brought up about Kiss. Yep. This is the album that starts it all. Yeah, that's what I heard. That is what I heard. Oh, sorry, hang on. I tried to get a vaccine. The closest appointment is 40 miles away. Yeah, Thomas, I know the things are weird. Where I work at, there has been all kinds of rumors and conjecture in regards to the scheduling on our stuff. I don't know. I guess just whenever. Now this one here. Let's see. I cannot remember. Okay, good. Another original Casablanca. Yes. I actually have, and I could show you the other one, but it'd be really hard to see. So let me tell you the story I have about Kiss's first album. Once again, like I mentioned about Trust to Kill, this thing could have been a hell of a lot better album if it was produced better and less muddy in the mix. Yeah. So a few years back at an antique mall outside of Springfield, Missouri, I found a copy Without Kissin' Time. That is your appropriate thing if you are looking for this first Kiss album, ladies and gentlemen. You will know if you have a true first press if you find one without Kissing Time. Now, Kissing Time, and I brought this up a long time ago, it's a small window. If I remember correctly, it's about 2 months the original press Without Kissing Time lasted before then Neil Bogart had the idea, hey, let's redo Kissing Time. We could do the kissing contest. Personally, that was a misstep. I'm like, nobody gives a shit about that. but it did give him the publicity anyway, and that was part of the Mike Douglas show appearance. Was they ended up getting some of the people. Now, I will confess, for as far as for locality is concerned, if I would have known about these guys back in '74, it turned out that they actually made an appearance at a record store in Schaumburg, Illinois. Now, Schaumburg is about a good 45 to an hour drive. Damn right I would have went. It's like, oh shit, Kiss is here. that would have been something. And they were signing copies of this. Oh, and they were judging the kissing contest. It was at Woodfield Mall. If you Chicagoites know about Woodfield Mall. All right. Oh, yeah. Once again, back on the Kiss rant. So, 78, that Hanna-Barbera movie comes out. The second nail in the coffin, ladies and gentlemen. The 4 solo albums. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Have I played them? Yes. How many times have I played them? Once. Yeah, once for each one, because I'm like, I'm not a big damn fan. And the label, it was all about greed and it was about ego because, nobody could stand each other anymore by 78. Like I said, your last decent Kiss record, okay? Love Gun is your last big studio, but Kiss Alive 2 and a couple of the studio tracks. Rocket Ride was the last '70s Kiss song with all 4 members. At least that's what we were told. Now, there was Bob Kulick ended up doing the rest of the guitar work. This was the one. This was the one I liked out of all of them. I'm back in the New York groove. Yeah. And wait a minute. Oh boy. It says special, right? I forgot about this. They priced it at $4.98. It's a special for $4.98. And yeah, so I want to get the picture discs. The picture discs are cool. I'd rather find the original picture discs, okay? But I'm led to believe they reissued the picture discs. All right. How about we go in a little direction different, just for a smidge? Zappa. Oh, yes. I love Zappa. I do. I don't know enough Zappa. Now, my bestie Donna Joe Cat Lady, she's a huge Zappa fan. And I'm not going to lie. I've been giving her copies of my Zappa stuff because yes, Russ Ballard wrote it. Russ Ballard was actually a kind of cool songwriter. He was. And in Argent, if I remember correctly, or working with Rod Argent or something. Mr. Hold Your Head Up. Oh, and of course, Russ originally wrote, here comes my another bad singing. God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you, put it in the soul of everyone. I know. Don't quit your day job. Okay, Zappa. Damn it, Zappa found some of the best damn musicians on earth for his band. He found talent after talent after talent. And like I said, I've been listening to the stuff because okay, story time. So one of my coworkers that I used to work with a few years back, okay, I still was chummy with her. Her husband died. All right. So she calls me up. She goes, I heard you're into records. Yes, I am. I want to sell them. I want to sell them. Thomas, I think you're correct. I think you are correct. I love that song. I love Three Dog, but yeah, good old liar, liar, liar. Do you know the vocal effect on that song? You know how it was done? This is funny. They put a mic very close to the toilet bowl, and the singer sang in the toilet bowl. It's true. It's with the water in it. That's where the effect was. That's right, kids. You ain't gonna find high quality shit programming any on PBS or anywhere else. It's right here. Zappa. So, um, anyways, I felt bad though. I always feel bad when I buy deceased people's record collections. Okay, because I mean, yes, all right, fine. I benefit by their good taste. And oh boy, his name was Alan, I'll tell you that. They were huge, huge. Yes, one of my first Three Dog Night memories actually, and I'm sorry I don't remember what year, but I do remember them being on Dick Clark's New Year's Eve broadcast. I remember that. I was a little kid. So, um I we'll talk about Three Dog another day. I won't go see him now though. No, 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 no. Go check out Chuck Negrin's solo albums. He does he on his website, Thomas, if you're into him, because Chuck Negrin he puts out some okay material too. And the last album that he put out, and I'm sorry, it's escaping me, but the cover has got him and two of his daughters. Okay, he released, and I don't know how he did it, three unreleased Three Dog Night songs from they either were the mid 1970s or they were outtakes for the EP they did on Passport in 83. It's one or the other. It's kind of, there's some question marks, but it is them. Okay. So there's some Three Dog for you. So Zappa, he had a bunch of Zappa in his collection. Okay. I bought every album he had. Now, some of them I'll keep. Okay. Certain ones I really, really like Overnight Sensation. I like Overnight Sensation. I like Zoodlers. That's probably going to stay in my collection too. I got Chic Your Booty. That'll stay in the collection. But I gave her all my mother's albums. But I played them first, from Freak Out all the way through Weasel Ripped My Flesh, through, We're Only in It for the Money, to, but that's because she's my bestie and I love her. So, she gets the good stuff. She's into Zappa, she's into Prince, she's into a bunch of other things. Yes, I remember that. I think Billy Preston and David Clinton Thomas were on that show. You might be right because actually, Billy, didn't he sing Nothing for Nothing on that? Something tells me I've got that memory. And nobody has to apologize for interrupting my stories here. I'm 53 and I have probably adult ADD, adult ADHD. Look at the squirrel. No, so don't worry about it. I listened to a podcast called Buddy's Lounge, and the host, the Big W, purchased the. Oh shit! I heard truthfully that Bob Crane was a vinyl fanatic. I want to see what he collected. I really, really do. Hogan. I liked Bob Crane as an actor, but as a person, okay. I suggest to you people out there, as they go, what do you mean, you people? The movie Autofocus with Greg Kinnear from the 90s. Go rent it or watch it somewhere, stream it or whatever. That is an interesting sort of true story. Okay, there's better books out there, but that'll give you a gleam about Autofocus, about Bob Crane, because Bob Crane, he was a piece of work. Mostly lounge and jazz. You know what? I could see that, Tim, because I've seen his drumming on TV when he would do the TV appearances, okay, and do all that good stuff. So let's see here for 2 seconds. Excuse me. So yeah, Terry Bozzio on here. Oh yeah, before Missing Persons. I like Missing Persons. Dale Bozzio was a hot mess, but I don't know. For some reason, she was. I don't want to say hot exactly, but I just remember what are words for? Do do do. Do you hear me? Do you care? Yeah, very dark, but still a good film. Nevertheless, I was just like, holy shit! And of course, if I remember correctly, William Defoe. Oh, what a psychotic actor! I like William Defoe. I've always liked him, I guess, for a lot of his movies. Um, for example. I thought he did a great job as the Green Goblin in that Spider-Man film. It's like Godspeed, Spider-Man. It's like, oh shit, there he goes. Now, I think truthfully, now I haven't seen everything he's done, but one of the biggest missteps, uh, yeah, literally, Thomas, you're right. One of the big missteps in William Defoe. Have any of you people out there seen Life Aquatic? That's that movie with Bill Murray pretending to be some kind of character like Jacques Cousteau, and William Defoe ends up kind of being the right hand man. That's not so nice. And every song that is being performed in that movie is a David Bowie cover, which I was like, I like Bill Murray and I like William Defoe, but I was just like, what the hell was this all about? But hang on 1 second. Ouch. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When you get old, you can't sit in a chair too damn long. Ay, ay, ay. Remember, kids, for Svengoolie, no personal checks. All right. Here's a cool 60s band, which of course would offshoot a cool 70s band. Defoe was good in that movie about them. Oh shit! You know what? I forgot about that movie. But do you anybody remember the title of that movie? Because I want to see that. I have heard bits and pieces about this. Right, right. Wes Anderson. Thank you. Oh, okay. Shadow of the Vamp. I'm writing this down in the notebook because I want to see that. Nosferatu. Talk about a creepy ass original movie. But shit, once you get in it, you can't stop looking at it. It's creepy, but it's just like it's cool as hell for early 1900s German film. I mean, shit. Bald. Oh my god. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank God I didn't see that as a kid because it probably would have given me nightmares. I saw you know, we used to have somebody that was really cool at one of the colleges I was at. Yeah, I was at a couple, and would come up with these really cool mini film festivals. And I think this was in the '80s, late '80s, and I got to see some cut of Nosferatu. I'm still writing this down here. All right. Thanks, Tim. Glad to see I'm not the only one. Yeah, yeah. What the fuck was going here? I agree with you, Merrick. What the hell was going on with that movie? It just um. Oh, but I want to recommend a good movie. Now this is a stretch though because I think this was a 90s film again, okay? And I don't know if anybody's got it on stream. Yes, it made it to DVD. But we're going to go from one crazy character, William Dafoe, to another classic one, Christopher Walken. On a good day, I could do a partially good Walken impression. I can't really do it real well today. I'm kind of off. Yeah, I knew that was shitty. Here's the movie to go see, Scotland, PA. If you've never seen Scotland, PA, watch it when you can. Put it in your watching queue. It says in the credits a story based by William Shakespeare. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this they take Shakespeare's Macbeth and they turn it into this 70s thing. I'm telling you, and Christopher Walken doesn't show up until the middle as the crazy police lieutenant who comes to try to it goes crazy. But it's a record, Scotland, PA, the '79 remake. You know, I'm not going to lie to you, Thomas. I know what you're talking about, but I've never seen it. I probably should. Klaus Kinski's a little. That's what I'll say about Klaus Kinski. I'm trying to remember the one damn movie I did see. It was around that time period with him too. For the life of me, I love good horror films. I do. I love messed up films. Not too messed up though, mind you, just enough. Just enough. Here's one that comes to mind, and I know some of you people are gonna go, huh? But first, just watched Knowing. Okay, up until the last 10 minutes. What the Knowing, huh? It's going on the list. Because the title sounds familiar to me, but I do not know Knowing. I'll tell you the one I saw recently, or should I say, I was at my son's house. Split. I finally saw Split, and I gotta confess, he should have deserved something for that. For that, what he did. I mean, all those friggin' person. I'm like, oh my god. And then to see at the end where it all, I'm like, oh come on. And I'm just sitting there, but I still liked it though. I liked Split. It was messed up in its own way. Um, Shit. I just got myself off tangent of what I was going to tell you for creepy movie that I just got done. Oh, not just got done, but Strangeland. Strangeland's another one I remember. It was like late 90s, early O's. I used to work in a mom and pop video store, so I could get all kinds of free rentals and shit. That's the one with Dee Snider as Captain Howdy. That's messed up. And I know that there has been rumors for years about a sequel, and Dee's all for it, but I think it all comes down to funding and a script or something like that. But he did pretty damn good in Strangeland. If you've never seen that, check that out. Also, oh really? Nicolas Cage, huh? You know what? I'll tell you about Nicolas Cage. Truthfully, um, 50-50. 50% of the time he's in good shit. 50% of the time it's bad or maybe marginally bad. You never know with him. The one goofy movie that I remember seeing, geez, what was it? Jess was alive, so this had to be pre-2019, okay? I rented it from the Red Box. Maybe one of you guys out there are going to know. Nicolas Cage is in this movie. It is a mom and dad and a daughter and son, and something happens, and the mom and dad end up like being murderous. Like they're killing they're killing other kids, okay? And and it was really strange, but the ending was so dumb. I was pissed at the ending. I'm not going to tell it to you because some of you people maybe haven't watched it yet. I just wish I knew the damn title. But if anybody knows what I'm talking about, yeah, that's right. It was part of a trilogy. Wasn't it Unbreakable, right? Unbreakable, then Split, and then Glass. Is that right? Is that I haven't seen Glass. I just saw the first two, so I haven't seen Glass yet. See, you never know what you're going to hear from me about all of this. We go from music to movie. I don't give a shit. This is good. Whatever form comes, and I'll once in a while throw in albums as we're going along. Yep. Racing Arizona. Oh, so hey, I'll make one more Cage reference, and then I'm going to go throw some other stuff out here. So, anybody watch Community? I love Community. Uh, those bastards owe us a movie. If you remember, whoever watched that show, the tagline that Abed went off and said was 6 seasons in a movie. We got the 6 seasons, but no movie. I have a movie idea for Community. I just don't know who to tell it to, and it would make sense. It would kind of close the loophole a little bit, and then it would be all right. So there's one time in an episode that Abed had watched all the Nicolas Cage movies. He went on this binge, and if you look up on YouTube, Community Abed Nicolas Cage reaction, you will see how his mind from watching all those Nick Cage movies. You just go see it. One of the best late 60s bands to bring a 70s offshoot, Box Tops. I love Box Tops, okay? Alex Chilton and company. There's still two members, original members, that go out as the Box Tops that were in these lineups. And I heard they do an admirable job. But, of course, no Alex, but, at least they got to reunite, and that was nice. The Box Tops Tear Off, if I remember correctly. It was a 90s album, if I'm right. But he was 16 years old when he sang The Letter. He does not sound 16, does he, when you hear that? And then you see those videos, like some of the goofiest videos are the Box Tops on the Upbeat show out of Cleveland, where they're doing The Letter, they're doing Cry Like a Baby, they're doing, a Soul Deep. Oh, shit, I love all that stuff. But of course, Box Tops would continue on without none of the members, which was a pretty sneaky thing, thanks to the manager. They would cut a couple 45s for Bell and High. And like I said, no involvement whatsoever of any of those Box Tops. Yes, that is correct, Slider. You know where I was going on this. Big Star, which of course would come straight off of Box Tops. And yes, I have heard some Big Star. I have, Slider, but I don't have any of their stuff. I have never come across an original Big Star on anything. But I do like the music, and eventually I would love to find those albums. I think they would be really awesome. Ugh, can't talk. Alex Chilton is my god, and I miss him. Like I said, very cool, enigmatic dude. I don't think I know enough of him, really, other than, like I said, Box Tops and Big Star. And of course, he got back together in his own versions of both of those bands. And if I remember correctly, he made a solo album too. What's Thomas's story here? I have a friend that house sat Alex Chilton's apartment in New Orleans, watered his plants, and fed the cat. That's good. That's good. That's a very nice thing. All right. Next. So, this band was big in the 70s in the UK, but they really never got the love here. Although, gee, did they really put out a bunch of material for other bands in the 80s to cover the material? Mostly Quiet Riot. Slade, keep your hands off my power supply. Now, I love Run Runaway is like one of my favorite 80s Slade. Okay. And yeah, I know about Goodbye to Jane. Come on, feel the noise. And yeah, I get it. Maybe it's just because I heard the 80s stuff first, but I give them credit where credit's due. Okay, they were a very odd, unique little band. Okay, but their 80s revival didn't last too long. If I remember correctly, by like 87, 88, whenever Rogues Gallery came out, that was the last thing for the US. And then they were back to just being pretty much UK stuff. And okay, here's another band, and I know this is totally off from Slade here, but she said that it was the messiest part she's ever seen. Well, it is what it. When you're a big star like that, see what I did there? That was bad. Have you ever seen Slade's film In Flame? I'll put it on the list. I've heard of In Flame. Okay, I, um, one of my friends, courtesy of Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark on WVOA. Yeah, that's a good Sunday night show, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard. And if you're on Facebook, go check him out. I'm serious. But where I'm going on this is Kathy Tebow Dunn, who is a big Slade fan, brought up about Slade in Flame. She likes a lot of music. She also does record auctions, sometimes in the middle of the week, on different things. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I mean, I'm not knocking Slade. It's just, I guess I was just used to hearing the 80s stuff first. I do think they were innovative, and I mean, they really were in that era of glam rock, okay? And I'm glad they stuck around as long as they did. Oh, so here's the other thing, though, Merrick, and everybody else out here. Here's one that was huge in the UK, but didn't really get a lot of love in the US. Status Quo. Yeah, Status Quo. And okay, so the first, I don't have any to show you. I'm just telling you because of the Slade connection, sort of. Status Quo, of course, the first thing I ever heard was pictures of Matchstick Men, which I love that damn song. I really, really do. That was a nice slice of psychedelic for that time period, um, and rocking all over the world. And I think I've heard some things from oh hell, what album was that? Pile Driver, and that's the thing though. They just couldn't get a toehold in the States. Slade's album's kind of muddy as well. Well, Tim, I can't judge on that because I don't, except for the power supply bit, I don't own any Slade. I've never come across Slade or the In Flame soundtrack or anything else like that for that matter. I don't know why. I've just never come across any Slade albums in the wild or even in the record stores, really. All right, next. Yes, Hendrix. Hey, you know, Hendrix. I love Status Quo's first album, but the whole album was EQ'd wrong. No bass. Oh. Ugh. I'm not going to lie, I'm no producer, okie dokie, but I think I brought this up in one of the last streams I did. That ever since I was a little kid, I've had this weird sort of obsession of being able to tear a song apart when I'm listening to it so I can hear the different instrumentation as it's going along. And yes, sometimes I can catch a muddy production and sometimes I can't. And I'm just sitting there going, it just something seems off. Okay, I'll admit, guys, I tried to play music. I'm not good at it. I'm lousy at it. But for some reason, would maybe I have been okay in an engineer concept or something? I mean, because like I said, I can tear the things apart and go, oh, I hear this on this track, or like with Beach Boys. That was the first time I ever caught that. Okay. Another one, believe it or not, and I know some of you people will probably roll your eyes. those first couple Foreigner albums, okay, the first three mainly, before four, there is odd instruments in those singles. There really, really is. Like one, I remember hearing a marimba, but it's way in the back, but you're hearing it, and I'm going, "What the hell?" And it's just, I can tear it apart and figure it out. Another little aw shit moment was at my buddy's house. He played me, and I don't know, this was very, very weird. It was a quadraphonic copy of The Doors' greatest hits. Why? We don't know. Even he couldn't figure it out. It was the 80s Electra label, and it said quad disc, and he played me Riders on the Storm, and he played me a couple other ones. And I heard shit I never heard before. I'm going, wait a minute, I've heard these tunes. And of course, you're used to hearing it on the radio, right? And even if you're listening to the vinyl on your stereo system, what I need to do again, like I did a long time ago, is get a good set of headphones. They were one of my first 45s. They did a lot of good stuff, but were considered a one-hit wonder. Yeah, yeah, here anyway. They had a crap ton of hits in the UK. Yeah, music is much easier to collect than to play. I know it's sad. I just went down the throat wrong. Um, I had a band for about a month or two. Nobody, it didn't go far. I was the bass player. I tried. I sucked. Put a kazoo in my hand, I will be a rock god. Saw him in '68. Soft Machine opened for him. All the audience was on grass. He played everything from his. You know what? I would have loved to have seen Jimmy. I'll tell you right now. That man. All right, here we go again. Okay, some of you people out there know how I am. Yes, I'm borderline conspiracy theorists. Okay. I'm not a nut job before anybody goes off, and I'm going to let you all know, not that this matters. I voted independent. I have since '88. So I don't pick sides I just go for the best candidate in a political forum. Now, saying that, there are interesting books, stories, and other things in regards to the murder of Jimi Hendrix. Uh-huh. The murder of Jimi Hendrix. Because I'm going to tell you right now, he was murdered. How? Who? Why? Well, let's just say obviously everything I'm telling you from what I've heard is speculation or allegations. And I know there might be a little bit of opinion. And of course, just like opinions and assholes, everyone has one. So the story that I heard is his manager, Mike Jeffrey, the little sleazy scum, and yes, several other people can back that part up, that supposedly he took out a life insurance policy on Jimi Hendrix, okay, months before, and Jeffrey liked to gamble a lot and was in over his head, and supposedly the mob wanted to get him if he couldn't get the money. That's what the story I heard. So, according to the coroner's report, he supposedly OD'd on a bunch of barbiturate, and the thing is, they weren't. It wasn't dissolved. The pills weren't dissolved. Supposedly, there was a shit ton of wine and a bunch of other things. But some people say that he was force fed. They tied into, and the girlfriend, whatever. She was sleazy as all get out too. Very sneaky too. She'd change her story every 2 seconds. Go look at interviews with Monica. She would change her story every two damn seconds. So obviously, she supposedly knew a little more than she should have known, but basically she had to keep her mouth shut or she'd be dead. Of course, Mike Jeffrey, he'd end up in a very strange death himself, too. Dead in a mid-air collision in 73. Basically, if he would have stuck with Chaz Chandler, I think Hendrix would have lived quite some time past. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, though, too. For the longest time, I kind of wanted to. I wish I had a time machine. I could go back to Woodstock, but I'm not entirely sure now if I would have gone to Woodstock or Atlanta Pop, because Atlanta Pop had most of those people from Woodstock and a few other ones, and there was less amount of people there. Maybe I would have gone to both. I don't know. I don't know. But this man here was an innovator and a workaholic. My God. And yes, we finally heard, I think, the last sounds of barrel scraping. I think. Okay. I know they put out that Maui, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard it. Okay. But I know at least that the sisters got a hold of the estate. At least it's in the Hendrix family. Good for that. I heard several different things about Jimmy. One of the stories was that he was going to do an album with ELP, and yes, they were going to call it HELP. Get it? Help? Oh boy. But supposedly that story is true. I can't remember which ELP member said that. The second one was he had a conversation, I guess maybe even several of them, that he wanted to do an album with Miles Davis. Could you imagine what kind of damn album, what awesome blown out album that would have been if he would have done that in 71, 72? Shit, could have been a game changer. That could have been a total game changer, honestly, okay? That's what I'm saying. Jimmy, those albums while he was alive, awesome stuff. Even Cry of Love too. So this one here is going to be a curveball. Well, actually, Monterey Pop, I would have loved to have seen too in 67, but no, I think the Atlanta Pop came out in 69 also, and it was shortly before Woodstock, if I remember right. I could be really, I'm still working on this, but oh, I would have loved to, maybe I would have rather gone to Monterey than Woodstock. But you see, I like the diverse lineup on both of them, so I probably would have been at both if I had a time machine and a lot of money, of course. Okay, so this next one, I have no damn clue about this, but I just thought for shits and giggles, I thought I'd show you this. I picked this up. Actually, there's several different albums, but they're all over in the collection here. So, Polish or Russian. Yeah, so here, take a look at it because I found this sucker. This is from 1990. All right. It says on the back with the Lee on a neck, which I don't understand what that means. But and it is on looks like it might be cheese. It might be is it a Melania offshoot? I don't know. But it's all Polish or Russian. CCCP, so it's Russian. Okay. So here's the thing. I found this at a Salvation Army. This is like going on close to about 10 years ago, okay? So I found this along with a couple other metalish albums. And one of them was signed. I grabbed that sucker, and I'm like, I still have it. I'll show it to you guys sometime. But another album that I found was a real first press of the Russian the McCartney Unplugged, the Russian album though. It was a first press, so I mean it's all Russian on the back. There's no English titles on it, and it mentioned the date and everything. I looked it up. I'm like, holy shit! So I got that, and that was in the middle of all this box. Woodstock is right here in my home state, just a 4-hour drive from Buffalo, New York. Woodstock's music was great, but the living conditions were a hole. Uh, that's what I heard. lately, Merrick, I have been getting, and I sub to Facebook, Bearsville Studio. Maybe it's a museum too now. Bearsville Studio, which I think is near Woodstock, if not in Woodstock. Albert Grossman's recording studio. Another reason why I want to go to New York. I want to check it out. I got some friends in Syracuse, okay, and so I actually have no desire to go to New York City. I just don't. But I would love to go to Syracuse, and I'd love to actually go to Woodstock to go see the Bearsville Museum and yeah, back in the 60s, what was it? I read it in Levon Helm's book. He really enjoyed living out there too for a while. Polka, polka, polka. That's right. Here comes my really crappy impression of Lawrence Welk. Wonderful, wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. They have Myron Florin on the fantastic accordion with the Tune Hall Dancers. We're going to tear right into a Black Sabbath AC/DC medley. And a one and a two. Well, look. Looks like Tim's upstate New York, too. Sounds like you two need to hang. I'd love to hang with my VC people. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, you got me on that. Oh boy, we already got the time going already, huh? I'd say about 10 more minutes, and then we're gonna shut this thing down. I gotta get up early. Okay, this one here. Thank you. Thank you, kind sir. Gold stamp promo, Fraley's Comet live +1. Yes, live +1. And you know, I like Fraley's Comet. Fraley's Comet didn't get the love it should have gotten. That first album, go get it. I'm telling you, you will like it. Rock Soldiers, Dolls, Into the Night. Yeah, good stuff. The second sighting's okay too. This one was between both of those, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so yeah, and never before released live versions of Rocket Ride and Rip It Out. But yeah, so that would be one for you. I I would love to check Ace here. Do you live in Chicago? No, Thomas, I don't. I lived in Chicago land. I will tell you, I lived in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. And what I mean by that is Crystal Lake, McHenry, Woodstock, Harvard, right around there, okay? For example, Crystal Lake for 25 years had a very cool record store called Full Circle Records. And that he helped into my addiction. I am not gonna lie. Tim Allen, north of Buffalo, near Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn, step by step. Yeah, it's an old vaudeville bit. Sorry, I probably shouldn't even know. Here's another one for you. Canned Heat. Yes, with good old Going Up the Country. Going up the country. Da, 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 da. Awesome musicianship in this band. But I'll tell you, even they got screwed over too. 90% of the damn bands all got screwed over. But there's a recent article about Canned Heat, but I'm sorry, I do not know the source. Just try to look it up because I'm telling you, there was lawsuits. Good God, just really ridiculous. Nice goodies. All right, I'm going to leave you with one last album. One last album. And then we're going to head out on this. I was in Chicago on a job once. I do like Chicago, okay? It's just I probably haven't been to Chicago in 15 years, all right? I know I heard it's a different world now over there. I don't know if I'd want to go back unless I maybe want to go see a Cubs game or go catch one of the museums or go to one of my favorite hot dog joints if it's still there. Yep. I would like to get Hooker and Heat. I would love to get that. So we'll leave off with this one last album, guys. So in Alan's collection, that's what we'll call it, I found something that was on my want list actually for quite some time, which of course a couple years ago was reissued in a better package. This one here had a quick cease and desist order on it in 1971 when it came out. From 1968 tapes at the Anderson Theater in New York. Live Yardbirds featuring Jimmy Page. That's right. Here's the front. Here's the back. Yes, I know the back's got slight tears. It's a sad thing. But, of course, on Epic, yes, I want to say Peter Grant, he was very tough on this kind of shit. He stomped on this thing. If I remember correctly, it was only out on the marketplace for about 8 weeks, maybe slightly longer, and it was pulled off the market. So to be able to get this, to me, because I love Yardbirds, okie dokie, I really, really do. I like all the eras. I still need the first album, the first American album. Then I want to go for some of the UK stuff too, original stuff. I worked with. Oh, okay, awesome. I always wanted to work at a record store. If I could go back in time, back into the '80s, it's exactly what the hell I would have done. Full Circle didn't need no help, but believe you me, I had other ones. We had Flipside, we had Oranges, which was an offshoot of Peaches. I could have maybe gone to Rose Records. I would have loved to have dabbled in any of those. Yeah, see, I wish I had the UK releases. What was it? Five Live Yardbirds, Roger the Engineer. I want all those too. Believe it or not. Oh boy. Oh, oh, oh. We're not going to talk about it today, but we're gonna. This will be the start of the next one. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But I ain't talking about that today because I want to show you another thing too out there. Um, maybe no, tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. I might do a stream tomorrow. Yeah, I want to tell you guys that I'd like to try to do. I mean, all of these, I guess, are Knights of the Round Turntable. Okay, I just go off and I title them different things. So everybody that contributes and comments and likes and stuff like that, you guys are members. Oh, that's cool. You guys are members. Oh, all right. But you guys are members of the Knights of the Round Turntable. We're all here are unstable. That's right. That's how it is here. Tim and let's see, Poptopia, Merrick. Who else do we have here that is discussed? Thomas, thank you very much. Let's see, Groovy Lisa, Slider 1995, Tim Allen. And I'm just going up here by who came and visited because I like to thank all you guys personally because that's just how the hell I am. I am that kind of a no. I don't know. I'm just full of shit. No, I love you guys. I really do too. You know, you guys, AZ Mick. There you go. Yeah, that's just about. I think everybody that's popped on by. You know what? Seriously, Merrick, thanks for dropping by. I thank all of you guys for dropping by because one thing I do know is there's a lot of streams going on, and it's like I try to shove a niche where maybe there's not so many streams, but I mean, I know Brother Brian was doing one, and Paul Cast was doing one, and oh, what the hell was the other one? Metal. God, I forgot his name already. He was doing one too. So there was 3 streams going around in the same hour. And I'm just like, I just felt like talking anyway. But I try to keep these things at 2 hours or less because I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay the 20 a month because you can do free streams up to 20 hours a month. That's why I guest on a lot of streams instead of doing these. I know I'm a cheap ass. No wonder I'm dizzy. No, sir, that's That's Tommy Rowe. We'll talk about that another day. See what I did there? All right, guys. I love you guys. All of you have a great night. Take care. God bless. Rock on. And like I said, I might do a stream tomorrow night, or if anything, Monday. I think I'm going to go 5 to 7 p. Central Standard. Knights of the Round Turntable. We're all are unstable. All right. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. And the Care Bears love you too.